Hello everyone. Let's give a warm welcome to today's superstar, Ray, famously known as Ray of Melbourne on Instagram. Welcome, Ray.
Thanks for having me, Roslyn.
It's very, very special. I've met Ray a few years ago through some work exchanges, and ever since then we have connected many times and had a lot of really good experiences working together. I remember Ray as one of the first few Instagrammers in Melbourne that does incredible drone shots. So I have engaged Ray for some of my projects where he will come around and find his time, his moments, bring his gears, and just deliver his work for us. So a very, very talented young gentleman. So what I really want to cover today with you, Raymond, because over the years you have shared more and more of your personal story with me, and I think that is too good not to tell the world. So that's what we are doing today. Ray, can you, to begin with, give us a bit of a backstory? How did it all begin with Ray of Melbourne on Instagram? What was your inspiration?
So I started my Instagram account, my photography account, back in 2012 when I was just finishing my university degree. And I fell in love with photography by, I think I started it when I was on Instagram. And I got inspired by this Instagram accounts from all over the world, from different places, different countries. And then I saw them, they showing off the city that they live in. And then I was really inspired by that. And then I started taking photos from my phone and then posting them on my Instagram. And then I did get a lot of engagements back then. So I kind of thought, okay, this is working, and people loving my content, people loving my photography style. So I kept doing it from that time.
Wow, and you have never stopped for 10 years.
Yes. It's been 10 years and it's a learning process.
Yeah. Tell me about what I know. I think I've started on Instagram 10 years ago as well, just for personal use really at that time. But Instagram has changed so much over the years, over the decade. Can you share with us some of the significant changes you've seen on Instagram, and most importantly, how you have adapted through the changes?
Yes, so Instagram, the social media platform has changed a lot over the last 10 years. I think they started from just photos, like one by one photos, and now they change it into like a bigger scale, like photos the way you post on Instagram, and now Reels. So you have to adapt of what they promote, of what they adjust under social media Instagram, because they do adapt with the trend and what's in for the current generation.
So for example, you're referring to how they switch because of Snapchat, and they turned a version of that into Instagram stories.
Yes.
And then recently we have TikTok, obviously. So in order for the platform to keep up with the change in consumer behavior, they then introduce Reels.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you have to adapt with all these different changes.
Yes.
Did you enjoy all the changes, or you're like, oh my God, they changed again?
I think I did love the changes, because that's what kept it more exciting, not too constant, not too, it's the same time every time. Like you mentioned IG stories, that played a big part of social media. Yes. You know, that Instagram stories, you could share your behind the scenes of what you're doing as a photographer too, because on your feed it's different. It has a different feeling, it's a different atmosphere, but engaging with IG stories is more, it's actually more relaxed, more engaging to your audience. They see the genuineness of the work that you do, and they appreciate that more, because it's not too scripted or not too edited. It's very pure IG stories.
Yes.
So like Snapchat, it's very it's very laid back. It's not too edited. I think that's what the audience wants as well, to see what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I guess the keyword is authenticity. You share more of the real side of your life.
Yeah, that's
and
correct.
People find like somehow they got closer to you or any Instagrammers that they follow.
Yes.
One of the interesting things that I know of your career so far, because this is not just an influencer, Instagrammer that we see around, but Ray has successfully monetized his account and actually doing some incredible work. Can you share with us some of that?
Well, yeah, thank you. Well, my aim in life is just to be a photographer, you know, and I've worked with all like tourism industries like Tourism Victoria, Tourism Australia, and now currently the City Council. And like I think I started with Tourism Australia, which they love my work. They appreciate what I've done back then, and they always kept me involved with their projects. And that's evolved from that 10 years ago. Now I work with the City Council, which I've been doing for the last 3 years too. And again, like that's my aim in life, just to have that constant projects with the tourism industry that can appreciate my work.
Yeah, what I really love about your story, your whole intention to be on Instagram is that you actually really treasured, really put your effort into creating your craft, and it's the craft that you're selling. It's not just a post. It's not just an account. You are actually really invested in what you're creating, and that's how it's connected to so many people, and that's the reason why you can have the opportunity to work with really good companies, government and tourism Australia. That is so incredible. Ray, can you share with us some of your happiest memories on having this Ray of Melbourne Instagram account so far for the last decade? Give me like 2 happiest memories.
Happiest memories would be it's like the road trips in regional Victoria, because I get to explore a lot of like places in regional Victoria that I haven't been to, especially like Bright, like it's a 4-hour drive from Melbourne, or somewhere in Warnambool. They're such beautiful places that have actually been explored in Melbourne. It has a beautiful like countryside, very relaxed. I think those are the memories that I won't forget, especially if I'm able to bring my family with me. That's the happiest that I would actually be. Like bringing your family to work with you is like priceless, because you appreciate what you've done more, and your family kind of like appreciate what you're doing in your life too.
And they can join you on your journey.
Yes.
That is so precious.
Yes.
So through your work, through your dedication to your craft, it has opened up a lot of travel experiences, lifestyle experiences for yourself.
Yes.
Now, I know in the last 2 years we've connected quite a bit throughout this very challenging time in lockdowns in Melbourne. I think Melbourne, I don't know, still one of the longest lockdown city in the world on record.
That's correct.
And you somehow have shifted the way you created or crafted your content during lockdown. And because of this shift, you have engaged with so many more people around the world, and your reels have reached millions. If you scroll through Ray of Melbourne Instagram account, just on the Reels tab, you will see multiple Reels that has reached millions. It is just fascinating. Tell me about what happened there. What was your motivation to make that shift?
Yeah, I was blown away too when I saw the amount of engagement during the lockdown. But again, during the lockdown, it was tough for everyone, for me including. It's one of the toughest time I've ever experienced in my life too, because you just stay at home and you don't know what the future holds. But I think looking on, I think I got inspired by other accounts that making these inspirational videos, and then you just appreciate what you have now and what's around you, including your family. I appreciated my family the most during the lockdown, and they supported me along the way during that toughest time of my life. And I kind of inspired from these videos, and then I started making them my own in my own tastes as well. And it's just it's very emotional, those videos, but at the same time, a lot of my audience appreciated what I've done and what they can relate. It related to me, and it related to them as well.
Yeah, I think it's the depth of emotion that you were sharing through your content, and all the scenes, different changing scenes of Melbourne City, the city that we all love. And I remember there was a reel where there's barely anyone on the streets, and it was from glorious sunsets to a gloomy, cloudy, rainy day, and the message that you put through really resonated with people.
That's correct. I think a lot of people like in Melbourne or Australia-wide appreciate of what I created online, because they saw what Melbourne has become, or how Melbourne changed during the lockdown. So at the same time, they kind of looking of what's happening in Melbourne right now, aside from the inspirational words that came with it. So it was very interesting to see how people interact, how people evolve as well, how they interact with my content during the lockdown. And they did really appreciate everyone was on their phone, checking on Instagram, and I think they kind of rely on my content as an entertainment or as inspirational posts.
Yeah, I think, Ray, your account is perhaps one of the top accounts that has put Melbourne onto, let's say, the Instagram global map. Do you often get people asking you about Melbourne? Like, perhaps not people in Melbourne, perhaps people that are not yet in Melbourne.
Yes, it happens a lot of times. People, once they see my account or my photos or videos, they got inspired of going here to Melbourne, like either visiting or living. And once they move here, they actually like the city, not just because by just looking at the photos, but also living here. Well, after all, Melbourne was one of the most livable city in the world, which still is right now. Like, it's still, after the lockdown, I think it's getting, it's trying to be more livable again. But
what is your vision for your Instagram account, Ray of Melbourne, moving forward?
Moving forward, I want to create more content about this city, about Melbourne. I want to elevate the city more to the world. Like, I want to showcase this city, the rest of the world, to be well known and to be like, what's like living in here. And again, like, Melbourne is such a beautiful city, like one of the most livable city in the world. And I always want that to happen in my. I want that to show in my content, in my posts.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. Ray, to close this conversation, can you share with us if just one tip for the aspiring content creators or aspiring Instagrammers? Share one tip for them, what they should do if they want to pursue this path for a long-term gain.
I would say keep creating content. I think experience is like the best way to, have gained personal skills and knowledge. Keep taking, for me, I would say I'll keep taking photos and videos to build up my knowledge and skills in photography.
And I think your special skill is you're so authentic in your content.
Yes.
And so, to sum it up, never stop creating.
That's right.
Cool. Thank you so much, Ray. It's really precious to have this conversation with you.
Thanks for having me.
We hope to see you soon on Show Up School. Actually, that's where you're coming as a guest speaker.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.